would like to tell you about an incident that happened to me about 7 or 8 years ago. I was 17 or 18 at the time. My father worked in shifts, and my mother worked during the day. One day I came home from school. I was studying very hard at the time, and the exams were overwhelming me. I got home, and my father, who had just returned from the night shift, had thrown himself onto the couch out of exhaustion. I went to the kitchen to prepare something, and I wanted to wake my father up, but he was in such a deep sleep that he didn't hear me despite me calling out to him. I ate my meal, and just as I was about to step into the shower, the doorbell rang. I opened the door, and there was my mother. It was nearly 2 p.m., and she said she had taken time off from work because she had a terrible headache. While I was showering and getting dressed afterward, I heard strange sounds coming from inside the house. I had never heard such noises before. They were creepy, like the growling of a dog. I called out, "Mom," but there was no answer. Then our front door closed, and when I stepped out of the bathroom, I realized my mother was gone. At that moment, I assumed she had gone to the neighbors and wasn't worried. Evening came, and my father woke up. He was waiting for my mother to prepare dinner. The doorbell rang. It was my mother. When I asked her, "Where were you?" she replied, "I was at work, honey. Where else would I be?" The moment she said that, my whole body went cold. If my mother was at work, who was the woman who came home that afternoon? I immediately told my mother what happened. Of course, she didn't believe me. She gave me a dismissive smile and said, "You have exams. You're working too hard, sweetheart." She was right, actually. Suddenly, I remembered the growling sounds from the bathroom, and I started to get terrified. A few days passed, and I came home from school just like that day, but the effect of the incident was still weighing on me. I kept thinking about how this could be possible. My father was sleeping at home. My mother was at work. I went to the kitchen. With every step I took, I tried to calm myself down. Suddenly, the doorbell rang, and I had a bad feeling in my gut. My whole body turned to ice by the time I went to open the door. I opened the door, and there was my mother. I was so stunned that I didn't even have the courage to look at her feet, as it is believed that jinn disguised as humans have reversed feet. "Why are you staring at me like that? Move aside so I can rest," she said. When she walked to the room, I tried to look at her feet with incredible fear, but her skirt was too long. I immediately rushed to the kitchen. My father was a man with a short temper. I was afraid he would do something bad to me if I woke him up. I was sure as day that the person who just entered the house was not my mother, because there was no way she could take time off from work on Fridays. My hands and feet were shaking in the kitchen. What was I going to do? I thought a lot. I heard her close to the bedroom door, and I pretended to be preparing dinner. She approached the kitchen step by step. She was watching me from the entrance of the kitchen, but I couldn't look at her face. I could feel her watching me. The house had turned ice cold. There was a heavy smell in the air. My heart felt like it was going to jump out of my chest. Trying not to let her know I was scared, I acted normally and started asking her questions. I asked, "Mom, how was your day?" and looked at her face. I wish I had been blind so I wouldn't have seen that face. What kind of face was that? Her eyes were the size of walnuts and gray. She had no eyebrows. Her mouth was straight and she had no lips. Her nose was sideways. The moment I saw this, I fainted. When I came to, that thing was gone. I must have woken up to my father's voice. I went inside and immediately told my father. I cannot describe how scared I was. But of course, he didn't believe me. I cried so much in my room. It was evening and my mother arrived. Yes, this was my mother. I told my mother too. She didn't believe me either. She even started discussing with my father whether they should take me to a psychologist. I was starting to doubt my own sanity. None of this was a dream. They were all real. Because I'd never experienced such things before. I wasn't even a person who watched horror movies. After some time, the subject was closed. After that incident, I would get phone calls. "Honey, I'm at the park. Come help me with the shopping," she would say. For a year, I couldn't go outside. I wouldn't open the door without checking the peephole. Such things can happen to people, and they can even cause one to lose their mind. Watch people who are not mentally stable carefully. They often act as if they are talking to someone, scream, get scared, or make hand gestures. They are like that because they see beings we cannot see. We moved out of that house afterward. I lost my father 2 years ago. I am living my normal life now. Or rather, I'm trying to continue.